Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca McLean and I am a student at Grand Canyon University, and I'm taking a course on understanding the U.S. and Arizona constitutions. And in that class we're discussing how you can make changes or amendments to your state's constitution. And in Arizona and in other states, that process is through initiatives and referendums. So today I'm going to be talking about initiatives and referendums, what they are, how they're created, what's the differences between the two, the pros and cons of both, and how they support direct democracy. Most of the information I'm giving today came from ballotpedia.org, Understanding the Arizona Constitution by T. McClory, and electionbuddy.com. So what is an initiative and referendum? Well, an initiative is a direct democracy process that allows citizens to draft changes to the state's constitution or statutes. There are two types of initiatives, direct and indirect. Direct initiatives go straight to the ballot once they pass the preliminary requirements. Indirect initiatives take a little bit of a longer process. The qualified proposal goes to the legislation indirectly. They can either approve it or offer a similar alternative to the law. Submissions can become law without a popular vote, but if the legislature doesn't pass the initiative, it may still have the option of being included on a ballot and voted on. With an indirect initiative, the public has the power to override the legislative decision. A referendum, on the other hand, is a direct democracy process that enables the voters to accept or reject changes to the Constitution or statutes that are proposed by the legislature. And there's two types of referendums as well, and they are obligatory and optional. Examples of obligatory referendums are constitutional changes, tax changes, or bond measures. And these are mandatory in requiring a popular vote. Optional referendums are those where the community requires a popular vote on a law passed by the legislature whenever it is petitioned by a specified number of voters. So how are these created? Well, when citizens are wanting to make changes to the Constitution, or if they want to veto a law, then they can start an initiative or referendum by starting a petition, which requires valid signatures from 15% of qualified electors, and then it'll be put on the next ballot. In order for it to be approved, the initiative or referendum must have a majority vote of the people. In Arizona, there is a requirement, though, that for tax changes, there has to be a 60% vote for it to be approved. So initiative versus referendum, what are the big differences? Well, they differ in areas of their origins and how they are approached. So initiatives start with the citizens who draft the proposal, petition, and add it to the ballot to vote on it. Referendums start with the government. The legislature submits legislation to the people for approval. A big difference between initiative and referendum is that a referendum is less controversial and are more likely to be voted on and approved than initiatives are. Both share the goal of enabling citizens to take active roles in the democratic legislative processes. The pros and cons of each. So the pros of both are that it allows the citizens the ability to check the legislative branch of their government. Some cons of initiatives are that they can result in badly written law, which can lead to laws that are meaningless or ineffective. Other con is the number of complex issues that voters are expected to vote on. A con of the referendums is that they're voted on with a simple yes or no. This can create division in communities when political parties, media, and others don't give complete information on the topic. And a con for both is that there's always the possibility of creating majority tyranny. And when you're taking a majority vote, those people who are in the minorities don't have as much of a voice. Now, thankfully, this hasn't been a big issue in Arizona, but it's always the possibility that it could end up being. So we need to make sure that those people do always have a vote and it's fair, and just make sure that that doesn't happen. So how do these two things support direct democracy? Well, looking at direct democracy, it's defined as a form of government where policies and laws are decided by a majority of those eligible, as opposed to a group of elected officials. Referendums and initiatives support direct democracy as they both give power to the citizens by a majority vote to change, accept, or reject the laws. I've truly enjoyed learning about initiatives and referendums, how people have their power in their states to make amendments to laws, have a voice, and speak out. And I hope that this educated you on the topic, and I thank you for listening.